Hello, all my patron peoples. Oh, I need to make this one fast today because my head fucking hurts. Oh, wait. I haven't even put my tablet in front of me yet. Oh, I woke up today and I knew immediately that it was going to be a headache day. I have things that each time that I wake up, I can always tell if I'm going to be having a headache or not. Oh, don't disconnect on me. Don't disconnect on me just yet. Don't tell me. Oh, it actually is working. Okay, good. Barely. Is it? Don't. Oh, damn it. It's going all the way over the other side, too. That means I'm going to have to go into my services. Oh, I love doing this. This is so much fun. Wacom. Restart. And maybe they'll disconnect my tablet. This thing, the wires on this thing have become sort of frayed, so it's actually making it a lot more difficult to work these days. Now, let's see. I can't even tell if it's... No, it's not picking up the, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I'll see you guys in a second. And I'm back. I have to restart the whole fucking thing every single time that it wasn't picking up pressure control is the problem, so anytime that happens, you have to restart the whole program. Doesn't matter what you do. Amazing. I'm still working on the animation, mainly because I've been working on so many other things this month. Like that, I have something for Wooly that's going to be coming up on their channel. I don't know when, but I think they're going to be doing it sort of in the middle of next month, I think. So that's when that'll come up. And in addition to that, I'm still doing the Dark Souls videos and all these other things. And I'm still working on the what you guys refer to as the Saiyan Girls thing at the same time. So a bunch of stuff popping off this month, and I'm very tired. But first questions. Pleasantly asked, dear Zela, my question to you is, what if any are your plans for the Cancel Gripes and Huge Incarnate patrons? I believe they are a resource left untapped. The reason why I haven't done anything with them... Originally, I didn't even want those tiers. I just wanted, you know... the reason why they're there is for the sake of the commission projects, which that's another thing I have to do. I have a few more those that have come in recently that I need to take care of, that I haven't taken care of. Oh, Lord. But I originally just wanted to have them there for the sake of the people that had asked for them. And as you can tell, I'm already sort of pressed for time in the first place. So the idea of doing something with them is, you know, I kind of don't really have much time for it. Even the people that contact me on Skype, which is one of the rewards for being in that in those tiers, even then I usually try to, you know, I have to limit what I say to just a few sentences. I can't get started in big long conversations just because you know, I'm pressed for time all the time. I'm usually working. I can't stop to have conversations. Although, you know, I always try to respond either way. And unfortunately, some people contact me whenever I'm like going to bed or something, since my sleep schedule is so much different from most people's. And that kind of fucks me up in that regard, too. So as far as actual things, I don't know. I really don't want to... Here's the other thing. This is probably the more important aspect of this. But I didn't want to give too much control to people in the higher tiers. Because I know a lot of the complaints about Patreon are that if you are not one of the higher tier patrons, then the service is kind of worthless to you. Or the people at the top get too much control and so on. So I just wanted to make sure that this was more just funding me to try to entertain everyone. Not necessarily, if you do this, then you will get X reward and so on. That to me is far less important. Okay. Let's see. Elizabeth and Scott, you both thank me for the Saiyan Girls. That's nice. Very nice. Do you have any... Scott wants to know if I have any trouble explaining my work on YouTube or Patreon at family gatherings. Family gatherings. Us. Yeah, we really don't have family gatherings, you might say. As far as that goes, though, I try to make sure that they don't know jack shit about what I do. Like my dad at some point I forget how I did that. How did I do that? But I got a thing from Patreon thanking me for being one of their top 100 contributors or whatever it is. And he thought it was some sort of secret code for something that was going on, because he's a conspiracy theorist. He's an insane wacko. And I eventually managed to get that away from him. So, no, that is mine. Leave it alone. Mind your own business. I want to make sure that they don't know anything about it, because the last thing I need is crazy people from 4chan or whatever contacting the house, trying to call them and getting him, and him being angry and confused because he's old and all those other things. So they don't know jack shit about what I do, thankfully. For the most part. They sort of loosely know that I do something in regards to making animations and videos. For all I know, they might think that I make, like, hardcore pornography or something. I have absolutely no idea what they think. But it's going to stay that way, because I really do not want my personal life and my work life connected whatsoever. That's a very bad idea, especially if people know your name at all. If you do something like a... gosh, still have a frog in my throat this morning. If you do anything in which you can, kind of just do your own thing and have an alias online, make sure that you keep the alias and nothing but the alias. Do not reveal your actual name in real life. Not because you're doing anything conspiratorial or, improper, but just because, especially, I mean, it's online. There are all sorts of stupid-ass people online that'll do all sorts of dumb shit just because they think it's funny. And I don't have any real personal experience with that, but, just... That's a good policy to have. It's like Jaden Smith sort of scenario. Where, actually, let me make another layer for this. Where, I'm thinking of Jaden Smith because Will Smith was on some interview, in which he said, I was 13, and whatever he said exactly, and I was stupid, but I was stupid in private, because we didn't have the internet and so on. And you could tell that obviously he was talking about Jaden, because Jaden was sitting right next to him, obviously referencing all of his dumbass little Twitter things. How could her eyes be real? Blah, blah, blah. That sort of thing. So, yeah, especially if you're younger, I would try to keep your name offline as much as you possibly can. And even older as I am, you really don't want your parents or loved ones or friends or whatever is important to you, realizing, oh, he does these videos about sexy mermaid women or whatever, because then that makes conversations a bit more awkward, I guess. It's not a big deal, really. I think a few people know what I do, like my best friend, I think, does, but it doesn't really matter too much to me. But it is something that will help avoid a few unpleasant conversations in the future. As far as the Sand Girl stuff goes, by the way, as we keep calling it, even though it's its own universe now, as far as that goes, I've kind of finalized a lot of things now. Right now, I'm just coming up with sub-characters, coming up with who the villains and things are going to be. As far as the actual content of the story goes, how the plot's going to develop and whatnot, everything is pretty well settled by this point. And when that's going to start as far as the interactive project I'm planning, I don't know, and I really don't know how long it's going to end up being, which is going to be more directly the main problem that I'm going to have to deal with. Okay, Caleb Long asks, Hello Plague, I was wondering, have you ever read the unnerving short story The Things by Peter Watts? Brief explanation and 2 pertinent links following. Actually, I have. I used to go to Outpost 31 quite a bit in the past. Not really anymore. What was it? Oh yeah, that's right. Not really anymore, though. And that's one of the things they featured on their site. There's also a few other things that I had read in the past. With me, I think that whenever you give the thing a personality, whenever you make it clear what its motivations and thoughts are, then you ruin the thing. It's a fine story, but for me, I much prefer it to just be the thing, to not have any motivations, not have any direct, obvious intent. Like, it's just the thing. Whenever you start you know, humanizing it. Whenever you start making it clear how it thinks, you explain too much, and that removes the horror element from it. It removes the mystery, and that's something that you definitely don't want to do. But yes, I have read it, in fact. I've changed my name just for you, Plague. Thank you, Cat Smith. Thank you so much, Cat Smith. You can keep the name. I'm just going to keep calling you Smith. You know that. This question is for my younger sister. She's 15 and looking to get into animation, but she seems to be a bit of a loss as to where to get started. In your opinion, what's a good starting point in terms of tutorials, programs, or reading materials? And don't become an animator. As I pointed out many, many times, I am not an animator. And I'm not an animator in the sense I am animating, obviously. But, like, whenever you talk about getting into animation, that's really going to be more like Disney animation, frame-to-frame sort of thing. And even if you end up just doing computer animation, like, say, you know, the Pixar stuff and whatnot, that's more popular these days. Even if you're going to do that, you still need to know traditional animation, because you're going to be doing that either way as far as storyboarding and things like that, and animatics go. And even if you're not doing that, you have to have an understanding of exactly what it means to animate anyways. So we're going to start with the idea of 2D animation. And with 2D animation... Damn it. I shouldn't have done that. With 2D animation, the best way to get started is to just start. And I know that's kind of an irritating thing, but... God damn it. Why'd you do the whole thing? This is one of the things I can't stand about Photoshop. You can't step forward appropriately. Is there one last line? I can't tell. Anyways. You just get started. Like, thing is, like how I got started, I think my first little attempt was that dumb little Pikachu video, in which I just tried to see, could I replicate some of the things that I've seen in the past? Which was, you know, sort of that sort of shaky home movies style animation where everything, or Ed, Ned, and Eddie, where it's obvious you're redrawing the same thing over and over again, and everything's kind of squiggly looking. I wanted to see if I could do that. In which case, what you do is you just draw back over the same frame again. And I just tried to come up with like 2 or 3 different frames, or 4, which I could repeat over themselves to make it have that look. And that was just a personal project for me. I just wanted to see what that would look like. And it did work. And the actual quote-unquote animation of it zooming in on its scary little face was not really an animation at all. It was very simple. But the gist of getting started in animation, don't overwhelm yourself. You know, right off the bat, just, I've got to learn to do... Like, don't start off with a walk cycle. You will drive yourself absolutely insane. Just start out with something like, you know, someone moving their mouth flaps or something. You know, something simple. Something, more importantly, that you will enjoy doing on your own. Because you don't need to just go a whole hog on it right off the bat. As far as literature and things go, I have no idea. I don't have any books on how to animate or anything like that. I have seen a few, but I can't remember what the devil their names are. Some people have recommended... oh, gosh, what's its name? I can't remember, but there is one that's sort of infamous. Wonder if I can find it real fast. Because I do remember that there's one that's usually used by pretty much everyone, and it's been a really long time since I've thought about it. Damn. I'll just search for a book. I'm going to find this, actually. And I know that there's an email somewhere in my one of my accounts that I got from another animator that I was talking to that has this information. No, nothing. There's plenty of things online. Like, if you go to Amazon, there's plenty I know, but there's one in particular I know that's kind of infamous. It's really old. Maybe is it the animation book? I don't know. Oh, no. I know what it is. The Animator Survival Kit. That's what I'm thinking of. The Animator Survival Kit. I think Richard Williams did it. I think that's what it is. The animation book is also another good one, though. But those would be two good ones as far as literature goes, if you want to get into that. But just remember, 2D animation is a big pain in the ass. There's a reason why I'm doing pretty much nothing but tweening. Because drawing frame to frame, you know, think about how long it takes to draw a single image. Now you have to do that again, then you have to do it again and again, and at least like 12 times in a row, just to have one second of animation. Because there's 24 frames in every second. If you want to draw each frame, hey, more power to you. But most people will go either 2s or 3s. And even if you go 3s, you need to draw at least 8. And even then, it's not going to look particularly great. And a lot of, like, Japanese studios will go by 4s sometimes. Even though it looks absolutely terrible. But, you know, no one really minds. It's like, whatever. Anyways, as far as animation, start small. Do something that you actually want to do. Don't just sit down and go, I need to do... Because that's overwhelming. Anytime people start out with some sort of new thing, don't think about what it is that you need to learn in order to start being good at it. Think about the things that you actually want to do. You know, don't concern yourself over, I need to figure out how to do a walk cycle, and I need to figure out how to use the onion, you know, skins to be able to... You know, just don't worry about it. Just... think up something that you think would be fun. And, you know, not like a fight sequence. No, just hold back on the reins for a second. Just think about something that would be fun, like someone swinging their hand in the air, or, you know, slapping someone, or beating a small child. That's also very fun. Something like that. And then, once you kind of have that idea, just see if you can do it. And then once you have finished, then you can upload it to Tumblr and have millions of notes just flooding over you, just telling you how wonderful you are, or how terrible you are. Yeah. And that's how you do it. That's pretty much how you do it. Just start small, start with things that you actually enjoy. And that goes for pretty much anything, not just drawing or animating or anything like that. Let's see. Dara McMahon. Is it McMahon? McMahon? Dara McMahon? I don't know. You people and your last names. How dare you? You aren't animating Skeleton Adventures, are you? No. I'm not. I'm definitely not. This is actually what I'm animating here. As you can see, this is actually, like, what is the canvas size on this? Not centimeters. I need to change that. 6,289 by 1080. So not 1920 by 1080. And this is because this is going to be a panning shot. This one in particular is going to take a very long time. I think I challenged people to guess what it was going to be last time, and no one even ventured to guess. But maybe some of you figured it out. Maybe some of you just don't give a shit. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, let's see. Not Skeleton Adventures. Robert Thompson, Dearest Blake Senpai. Was also spread animal factoids with the Union does. The Great Emu War, which was a whole military campaign against the emu scourge, but nothing but angry World War I veterans, farmers, and Tikhon's range of ammunition. That was sadly lost somehow. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on the Great Emu War? Emus don't fuck around. And it's not that they lost the war, necessarily. They just ran out of their own slave chains to melt down into ammunition. That was their main problem. And after that, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that they were going to, quote-unquote, lose the war. It's sort of like America's loss in the, you know, like, if you want to say a loss in the Korean-Vietnam conflicts. Were they really losses exactly? Or did America just kind of piss off because the public got sick of it, or, you know, so on, or various other reasons? Yeah, sure, it was a loss. Why not? We also ran out of our own slave chains to melt down. That's more metaphorical than it is literal. With the Australians, it's definitely literal. Definitely. Okay, anyways. Let's see. One last one. Delaney, why is your last name Orange Cup, anyways? Probably trying to protect your online identity, no doubt. Good job, by the way. Sir Plague, when are you getting a passport? I don't know. It's something I've been putting off. I really just don't care. Well, it's not that I don't care, it's that I have other things that I really need to be doing right now, which do not involve this. What the hell? Copy? Come on. There you go. Where'd the other one go, then? Whatever. But it's something, is one of those things that I've just been putting it off, because I've just had other things going on. And I don't know when I would have the time to be able to get up there anyways, to be able to dick around and do anything with them. But that is something we'll eventually have to do, and it might have to be kind of soon. Because there's a couple of projects that I think would be a lot easier if I were just physically up there that we've been working on, or working on the idea. And of course they kind of have, you know, they have to worry about their own time and whatnot too, so I don't know, I guess we'll just see, won't we? We will just see. As far as, and that's the last question that you guys have for today, thank goodness, because I am very tired. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the day playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse, which just came out. And that in itself is probably going to be a terrible game. I didn't have any I didn't really have any hopes that it was going to be, you know, some amazing thing. There's a lot of features that I know that are missing from it, that are present in other games, so and it's probably not going to be great, but, you know, I do have an interest in Dragon Ball, I guess, sort of. So it is what it is. As far as the, let's see, wonder if I should go into the Saiyan Girl thing. As far as the Saiyan Girl thing goes, I guess I'll do a little bit. Like I said, everything has kind of been finalized. And I'm doing the sort of side character things going on. Right now, the gist of it is that there's going to be two worlds. Like a planet and a moon. Even though the setting that I'm putting this in is, I usually have it be completely planate. That is, the universe itself is just one big world. It's not separated by space normally. But in this case, I decided to roll with the idea that this one is going to be set in a sort of a more conventional space and whatnot thing. Just because this one thing that I didn't want to have to try to explain to new people. And the humans, quote-unquote, are probably going to be on the moon. Whereas the quote-unquote Saiyans, who I don't think I have a name for yet. Actually, I might. Wonder if I have it on my desktop. All the... No, is it over on the side? Damn it. Of course it would be. I'll learn it in a second. But, they are probably going to be on the planet, and their sort of thing is that each of these worlds, this is going to be a combination of fantasy and sci-fi. So it's going to be a bit more complicated than, you know, they come from outer space to conquer humans or something like that. But the idea is going to be that there's a link between these two different worlds. This planet, and this very large planet, and the moon. And on the moon, human beings have basically advanced using technology. Oh, it can do it. Okay. Human beings have advanced using... Oh, really? Gonna do that? Fuck you. Human beings have advanced using technology. But on this world, there tends to be major disasters every few centuries that tend to wipe out a lot of history. And that'll come into play much later. And on the sort of Saiyan world, as it were, it is sort of the opposite in that no major disasters really happen, but the world is very inhospitable. And weather changes very dramatically, like the weather patterns on this planet change in such a way that it will be summer for a few years in one area, then all of a sudden it will become completely uninhabitable. It has become a barren, frozen wasteland. And all the all the plants and animals and things have evolved over time to sort of compensate for that. They either are very territorial and they move off from one area to the next, or like trees, for example, or the tree analogs anyways. It's not really going to have trees, per se. Will be sort of like some plants on Earth in which they will die and then just sort of come back many seasons or years later and just regrow rapidly. You know, everything's sort of that way. So all of the agriculture and things on the planet are sort of oriented around that. And the culture is very oriented around that. The people there fight one another constantly because they're always vying for land. Because it's very precious to be able to get a hold of this land before the major seasonal changes hit. And either way, because of all this, war is just constant on this planet. There's a lot of divisions and clans and whatnot, and a very strong, and this is more of the point with this planet, a very strong focus on survival of the fittest. And that comes into play with the fact that of the fantasy elements of this world, that each of these worlds is sort of represented by its own sort of god, even though there aren't really gods in my setting, but there are sort of greater beings that have an interest in human or mortal affairs, and they will institute contracts with lesser beings that, since they have sort of their own nebulous, nefarious goals that I don't really plan on going too much into, but they usually will create these sort of contract worlds, and that's what this is, in which everything is oriented around their own goals. In this case, there is a god named Perdanimus, which is sort of a very much older convention that I have, much older character, and he is sort of the root cause of all the sort of the problems that are ongoing with this world. If you want to call him a god of something, he would be the god of survival of the fittest, and that sort of thing. And he's sort of responsible for why that world is the way that it is. But that's really not the important thing in regards to the setting and whatnot. And on the other world, the reason why that happens is because there is a god named Secula that does sort of the same thing. Again, that's a much older thing that I'm kind of just using as background meat. And in regards to the actual story, it's going to come down to the idea that the people that are on the survival world are so sick of this life, like they desperately want to get off this planet. Once they realize that it's, you know, much better on Luna, for example, that once they get a hold of a ship, they are going to want to invade it. And that's sort of the Saiyan invasion element coming in. And the basic gist of the story is going to orient, and I'm trying to compact this as much as I can because I need it to be a short event that I'm going to have. And the gist of it is that the whole story is going to orient around the girls and the protagonists that I don't have a name or design settled down for yet. It's something I do need to work out. It's going to orient around them trying to make sure that an invasion of this moon, quote-unquote Earth, even though it's not Earth, does not happen. Because the girls come to have an appreciation for Luna itself. And that's how that's going to work. And as far as how everyone meets one another, I guess you'll have to work. I've probably given away too much information as it is, but that's the gist of how everything is going to end up working. There's going to be, you know, like ancient gods and blood contracts and things like that to worry about as well. So there's going to be lots and lots of fun. But that's the gist of how that's going to go down. If you want to know more information about that, I guess I can, but yeah, it is what it is. And I don't know how much information that I really want to give out or how much is going to really be pertinent to the future either way. Anyways, this is just how that's going to work. And I guess that's going to be enough for now. I need to upload this and I need to get back to another project. Oh, Wooly still has to get me that other thing. 80% done on that. At least I don't have to worry about that for a while. And there's a few other things I also need to take care of. The animation itself, this thing, it's probably about 80% done now. As I've said, the reason why it's taken so long is just because I've been interrupted so much. I knew that January I was not going to be able to get anything out. because I was doing the Dark Souls playthrough. And in February, of course, it's kind of carried over. People have been insisting on the playthrough so much it's kind of eaten away into some of the time. And more than that, I've just had too many other side projects to have to worry about to be able to invest a lot of time in it. Plus, a lot of real-life bullshit to have to worry about in regards to, like, insurance and taxes and building fences and all sorts of other things. Just a lot of things have come up this past month. Anyways, leave your comments and suggestions and fanfics of me and the thing and whatnot in the comments below. I will be sure to read them and answer them like 2 months from now or whatever it happens to be. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go lay down for a bit. I will see you guys next month. Bye-bye.